You are listening to Crime, Coffee, and Crafts, a podcast featuring two crafty besties who love true crime and a good cup of joe. Dun, 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 dun.
It's recording day.
It's alive.
Cheers.
It's alive.
Oh, but we should cheers.
Cheers.
Clink.
Clink.
Oh, hey, you did it better than I did. Good job.
Pour me a cup.
I like your new cup. It's super cool.
Yes. I had a birthday, so I got some new fun gifts.
Yes.
One of my children got me this. And my best friend got me this.
It's so cool. I need to order myself one. So
I love it.
We could twin again. We have so many of the same shirts. It's really funny. But
Yeah, well, I mean, we got good taste.
I knew you would
and
be
we're best
wearing
friends,
that. So I didn't have to text you and be like, don't wear this one.
I'm gonna wear this one all day. I'm not even gonna change for our next episode like I usually do.
Yeah.
I know you never do. But...
I never do because I'm just like, that's too much work. Way too much work. Why would I go downstairs?
But Betty White deserves 2 episodes.
Yes, she does. She really does.
She was a kick-ass woman.
R.I.P.
No.
Yeah, I'm sad. But at the same time, I started watching Golden Girls again and literally was laughing so hard I was crying, ugly laugh crying.
Yeah.
That I only normally get when I'm with you or with my sister.
Yeah. We get pretty
Oh, and if the 3 of us are together, there's trouble.
Yeah. Laughing, crying.
When your teeth are like that because you're laughing that hard.
There were so many times in Reds when we were not working and we were just hanging out with our friends. I could not stop laughing. I just giggled
it was fun.
There were periods I just could not stop laughing. And it hurt so bad. The next day, my ribs hurt, my muscles hurt.
My cheeks always hurt afterwards.
Always. And I got big cheeks, so there's good muscles in there.
Yeah, we all do in my family. We got my mom's cheeks. It's good stuff.
Good stuff. Good muscles.
I'd rather have that than be all gaunt. But
I just need to make sure I don't have jowls later.
Start massaging them. This is what you're.
Can I have a personal masseuse that just follows me around?
Wait, did I send you a roller, a facial
roller?
Or a gua sha?
No.
Do you have a gua sha? Oh, I know what I'm sending you next. Gua sha.
Gua sha.
She's gonna start giving herself facials. We're gonna do facials on Zoom together, okay?
Okay.
That sounds fun to me.
It does. Sounds like a good time.
Why not? All right. So, before I get to what I'm covering.
Yes.
Start with coffee. I had to do this coffee today because this is a very special coffee.
Ooh.
So my mom's the next one she sent me will be in a different one.
Right.
Sorry, Mom, but you'll understand because one of my Pilates clients sent me this coffee. This is 100% Kona.
Wow.
And holy smokes, it's so good.
I like the colors on the label and it definitely.
Yeah. So this is from a place called Downs Grounds. It's downsgrounds.com, DOWNES grounds.com. medium roast Kona. Delicious.
Nice.
And yeah, it's a really pretty label. I really like it. It's got strong flavor. Like you can, but it's not bitter. It's really good.
Those are the best when they're strong but not
yeah.
bitter.
And then my craft. So I finally resurrected a work in progress.
Nice.
And it's a sweater that I started while we were road tripping across the country.
Oh, I like that. That's a really neat stitch.
Thank you. This is actually called a moss stitch.
Uh-huh.
And for anybody who does crochet, that's you create a pattern where it's like a single crochet chain. So there's a space between. And on the next row above that, you put the single crochet in that chain space. So it creates a really neat, almost like a woven looking texture, which I really like. So
yeah, I like how that looks.
Yeah, and the yarn, I have to talk about the yarn. So the yarn I got from craftyhousewifeyarns.com, which, hi Erin. Shout out to Erin. She's the bomb.
Woo-hoo.
This is the Galler yarn Wow, which is a worsted single ply. So
and by the way, guys,
love it.
she's explaining all this. I don't know what she's talking about.
Kristen's
but I love learning about it.
Say what? But yeah.
It's like me talking about paint colors. Like,
yeah,
black is not a color.
I'm like, what?
White is not a color. There are tints.
Those are shades.
Yeah.
Even I know that.
Tints, shades. Yeah.
I'm trying to find the other colors. So I'm going to do this one also.
I like that.
They're a little messy because they've been in my giant bag here. And then I have, oh boy. Ooh, come out. This one.
Oh,
like pea
that is
soup.
pretty. Yeah, it's neat.
I love it.
Those colors together are gonna look great.
And then there's this one, which is kind of like it reminds me of like a koala bear, sorta.
Oh, okay, so it's more of a brown.
Yeah,
tint.
so I've got the gray and the brown.
And then the two greens.
The two greens. And I don't know
what order.
But
like
I'm excited.
it.
I just have to figure out what order I'm gonna do.
You could do ombre order.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like dark to light.
I don't know. I think
it's gonna be interesting.
It's gonna be cool. Regardless. Yep. So yeah. Get back in your bag. Oh. This is one of my bags actually.
From Cocoon?
Yeah, for my Cocoon Patreon.
Nice.
Fueled by coffee and yarn.
Yes, for those listeners that don't know, Heidi has a crochet yarn business called Cocoon Homespun.
Yes, cocoonhomespun.com. Might as well.
I have multiple items, if you don't know already, and I love her creations.
I'm wearing one right now because it's freaking cold up here.
Yeah, Daw's been wearing one of his beanies. He's got a blue one. Yes. He's like, I'm taking this to the boat. I said, do it.
As he should. It's probably cold on the boat.
Yeah, it is. So, anyways, we digress.
That's okay. We do that a lot.
We do. Because it's our podcast, so we get
do what we want.
Okay.
Oh, my candle went out. My candle died. Oh, well. Okay.
The spirits are coming in.
They are, because they know what I'm about to talk about. They're probably as pissed off as I got yesterday. I am covering the Snowtown murders, aka the Bodies in Barrels murders.
Ooh.
This is a crime from Australia.
Okay.
I will try my best not to butcher any words that might need an accent, but I've never even been there. So,
yeah.
I will say sorry to anyone should say sorry to Joanne. I should have called Joanne and been like,
We just
help, please.
we apologize beforehand for
We
anything
apologize.
we say.
But yeah, if I throw in a crikey here and there, don't be alarmed. It's okay. Okay. Trigger warnings and yikes. For real. There's a lot. Murder, pedophilia, dismemberment, manipulation, and manipulation. Hatred and verbal slurs toward homosexuals and cannibalism.
This is a heavy episode, guys.
I
put on your seatbelt.
Yeah, I made the mistake of watching the movie that was made based off of this. And it triggered stuff hardcore. So, and the movie is under the same name, The Snowtown Murders. If you want to go watch it, find it for yourself. Watch, but be warned.
It'll make you cry.
Yeah, I was like bawling. So, yeah. Ready.
I'm ready. I'm strapped in. I'm ready for the full ride.
I hope so. John Justin Bunting was born on September 4th, 1966 in Queensland, Australia. Bunting lived in Adelaide when most of this stuff went down. That's part of the case. He is known as the psychotic ringleader of a degenerate gang who went on to murder several people.
Ouch.
He has been described as a skilled manipulator and is Australia's worst serial killer. Which I've heard several different serial killers are the worst of Australia, but this guy
was a monster.
Truly a heinous person. So at the young age of 8 years old, Bunting was beaten and sexually assaulted by a friend's big brother. And it's been said that this may be what triggered his hatred towards pedophiles, which I get, hating a pedophile. But sadly, he also turned that into a hatred for homosexuals.
That's no bueno.
He couldn't separate that. So, and those things don't go hand in hand, but his 8-year-old brain could not.
He put them together, right?
They're together for him. Throughout the years, his hatred grew even more, and it finally grew to a point where Bunting decided to murder people that he thought fit into those two categories. And if you fit into one, he
separately or together?
He naturally assumed that you were both.
Gotcha.
If you were gay, in his mind,
you were assumed to be a pedophile. Yeah. Okay. That's rough.
Yeah. So also as a child, Bunting used to take chemicals and drop bugs into the chemicals and watch them struggle and die.
Yeah, that's a starter pack for.
He's already pretty fucked up. So yeah. And as a teen, he got into the Nazism kind of shit. So yeah. He's just real messed up. Tons of disturbing behavior.
Hardcore douche canoe.
Exactly. Douche canoe. Okay. Bunting and his murderous friends didn't just pick random people either. They murdered people they knew, some of which were their actual loved ones, family members. They also picked out people who were weak, and they would steal their welfare payments after killing them.
So they were making money.
Yeah, exactly. And the investigation and subsequent criminal trials of these crimes ended up being the longest and most expensive in South Australia's history. And so I will say, I think that a lot of these people weren't even homosexual or pedophiles. I think that he preyed on weak people.
He just thought.
And he would accuse them. He got it into his head.
Right.
Yeah, he needed help. He needed a lot of help.
Serious mental help.
So Bunting had made a rock spider wall That's in quotations there. In his spare bedroom of his house.
A rock spider wall.
That's what they called it. It's just the web chart with the yarn.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was like, I mean, Australia's got some nasty big spiders.
You're like,
oh, are we
oh,
having a wall of spiders?
right? Gross. Did he use them to kill people?
I mean, they might
Did
be
they-
large enough.
Did they eat their faces off? I mean, you would think.
Oh
Okay.
boy.
So this interconnected web chart was created using yarn and pieces of paper on the wall. Each piece of paper had the name of a different person who Bunting suspected were either pedophiles or homosexuals. Yeah.
So he was doing research and
Yeah,
but I mean, making up his own
exactly.
results.
Yeah. Like he just didn't like somebody basically and was like, okay, he must be a pedophile.
Gay, homosexual,
Yeah, like
pedophile.
he literally was just out of his mind.
Yeah.
So he would often just use this chart by choosing a name at random. And he would then call the person on the paper and basically just accuse them of being a pedophile and say, quote, they would get what's coming to them.
Interesting.
Yeah. So
Hey, Heidi, you're gay and you're a pedophile. You're going to get what you get.
Right? Like,
Not throw a fit.
it's so weird. Like, why call them?
That's, yeah.
But yeah,
I would love to get in his head.
He liked to torture.
Mm. It's like the old Scream
he's
movies.
still alive too. I'm
What's
pretty
your
sure.
favorite scary movie?
Right? Yeah, just to instill that fear in you. Yeah. So he eventually rented an old bank building in Snowtown.
Okay.
Which is about 1 hour and 45 minutes away from Adelaide, where he lived. And that's where he took and hid most of his murder victims.
Okay. So he had an old bank building, probably a vault in there.
Exactly. It was in the vault. And Snowtown is a pretty small town. So, like, it was pretty easy to do that. So now we're going to start going into, like, his friends.
How you find friends to do this with you?
Well, you know, like in low income neighborhoods.
Yeah, I mean,
it really is a thing.
Together.
They gang together, and a lot of these people didn't have proper schooling. They were not very smart. And I hate to make it sound that way, but that was like the reality.
Not well educated in life in general, and just made poor choices and poor friends.
Exactly.
And went along with what Mr. Bunting had in store.
Yes. So James Blissackis.
That's quite a name.
We're going to start there. Bunting was dating and eventually married a woman named Elizabeth Harvey, and Elizabeth was the mother of James Blissackis, who was one of Bunting's co-offenders. Bunting spent a lot of time with Blissackis, taking on a father figure role in Blissackis' life. Blissackis was easily manipulated for the reasons that we just said. Like he,
didn't know any better.
He didn't know any better, and he craved having a father figure.
Yeah.
That actually didn't do stuff to him that fathers are not supposed to do.
Yeah.
So Bunting regularly told Blissackis his hatred for pedophiles and homosexuals. And come to find out, Blissackis and his little brothers had all been victims of a neighborhood pedophile.
Okay.
And I think like their stepdad or something also at some point, not Bunting, but like a prior.
There's a lot of pieces of shit out there.
Yeah. This movie that I watched, holy shit.
Yeah.
Just don't watch it. Don't watch it. Just don't. Okay. So that's Blissackis. Now we're going to get into Robert Wagner. Bunting met Wagner.
Not the actor.
Not the actor. I hope. No,
That'd be a
definitely not.
twist.
Yeah. He met Wagner when he moved to his previous residence at Waterloo Corner Road. Robert Wagner had a tough upbringing, which definitely plays a role in all of this. Let's see. Robert Wagner and a man named Barry Lane both helped Bunting dispose of his first victim's body. And Wagner later helped Bunting in the remaining 10 murders. And we will get more into Barry Lane in a little bit.
Okie dokie.
It's not pretty.
Doesn't sound like it.
Yeah. All of these people lived near each other. They were fed up with the local children being victimized by pedophiles. So they were easily drawn into Bunting's fucked up ideas and subsequent murders. And I don't know how true the movie was, but it was done as like almost a documentary. Like,
okay.
It showed all of these neighborhood people, him and his friends, meeting up. They would have meetings, which I think that's extra creepy. It's just extra creepy to me.
Yeah.
So those are like the main guys that he worked with.
Recruited
into his band of dumbasses. And now we'll get into the murder
hence the
victims.
douche canoe.
Douche canoes. Yes. Yes. They are all in the douche
It's
canoes.
a large canoe for those men.
Yes. So his first victim is named Clinton Trevillian. August 1992. Clinton Trevillian, approximately 22 years old, just a baby.
Yeah.
Was invited to Bunting's house for what he thought was just a social visit. Wow.
Visit.
Oh boy.
Social visit.
Social visit. Unfortunately, this was far from the truth. Clinton was beaten to death with a shovel in Bunting's living room.
Ow. God, that's miserable.
Yeah. Bunting accused Clinton of being a pedophile and later referred to him as Happy Pants in conversations.
Okay.
Yeah, Clinton Trevillian's remains were found in Lower Light, South Australia 2 years after his murder in a shallow grave on August 16th, 1994. So it was literally almost exactly 2 years later.
Yeah.
And it would be another 3 years before Bunting murdered again. So Clinton's murder remained unsolved for years. In 1997, his murder was the subject of 2 episodes on Australia's Most Wanted. Bunting apparently saw one episode of that show with Blissackis and his mother and boasted to Blissackis, "That's my handiwork." Yep. Bunting also told Blissackis that he murdered Trevillian while living at his previous residence on Waterloo Corner Road in Salisbury. Said that right.
Yes. Yeah, we got one.
Oh, crap. And that he disposed of Clinton Trevillian's body in Lower Light with the assistance of his buddies, Wagner and Lane. Like, he just told him everything.
Yeah.
And Blissackis didn't
He was
say
a
anything.
braggart.
Oh, yeah. He wanted people to know.
Narcissist.
So now we're going to Ray Davies. Ray Davies was reportedly an intellectually disabled man who lived in a camper, aka caravan.
Oh, I like how that sounds. I love UK words sometimes.
Yeah.
So much better than our words.
Oh yeah. So he lived in, I'll say, a caravan. Why
caravan.
Not? Behind the
Instead
house.
of an RV.
Well, it was like an old camper. Not an RV.
Yeah.
But just like a pull.
Oh, a camper. Sorry.
Yeah.
Camper.
He lived in a camper behind the house of Suzanne Allen's house in Salisbury North. Davies, a former lover of Allen, of the woman, became a target for murder after Allen accused him of making sexual advances to her grandsons, which he denied. But Suzanne reported Ray Davies to the police and later told her neighbor, Bunting, about
Oh
it.
no. That was a bad move.
Yeah. Except maybe this guy was. Who knows? I don't know.
I mean,
we don't know. Ray Davies was tortured and then murdered by Bunting, Wagner, and Elizabeth Harvey in December of 1995.
Oh, so the wife was in on it?
Yeah, Bunting's lady friend.
Sorry, spilling my coffee.
Oh no.
Ah, sorry.
Oh no. Why would you do that?
It's the equivalent of spilled milk
I mean,
for baby.
That's very sad.
Losing your balloon.
That's
I lost
coffee.
my balloon.
Coffee abuse.
I still have a full cup.
So, December 1995. He was never reported missing by anyone.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Bunting and Wagner were later seen cleaning Davies' camper. Which, like, why didn't somebody say something? But, they then moved it to a house in nearby Elizabeth, where it was painted and sold 2 months after they murdered him.
Wow.
Bunting continued to claim Davies' welfare payments.
Mm-hmm. That's why nobody around him reported him.
Exactly.
Because Mr. Bunting was taking his money.
Report him, you'll be next.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. It was one of those situations for sure. Davies' body was later recovered by police buried in the backyard at the former home of Bunting on Waterloo Corner Road in Salisbury North. Okay, so now we're at Suzanne Allen, who was the woman that reported the guy.
Yes.
The remains of Suzanne Allen were found buried at Bunting's house at Salisbury North also. Her death was concealed by the accused, and they continued to collect her pension, claiming a total of $17,000. They claimed she had died of a heart attack. Murder charges regarding the death of Allen were eventually dropped by the prosecution due to lack of evidence. They said that They said that they only dismembered her and buried her because they wanted.
That does happen.
They wanted her money.
Right. That does happen.
Yeah.
Sadly, like even family members, they find their loved one dead of a heart attack and they want to keep their Social Security money going because that's how they're supporting their lives.
Right.
My grandfather always said, follow the money. In any investigation, you always follow the money.
Always follow the money. Yikes. When Dwight goes, I'll be like, call everybody. Cancel Social Security.
Yeah. Because you don't want to.
I don't want it. I don't want to deal with that.
Nobody needs that.
Nobody needs
drama.
That.
Nope.
Oh, gosh.
Just let the money go.
Yeah. Michael Gardner. Next. I feel like next in line. That's basically how they.
That reminds me of Beetlejuice.
Oh my God.
They're waiting.
Did you see my thing the other day that I posted? Of Pete Davidson?
Yes.
Oh my God. He totally looks like him. I love it.
Yeah.
Like straight up, he's like Beetlejuice. Anyway, he's really funny if you haven't watched his comedy.
He is funny. He's got some poor choices.
Well, I mean, when you're a funny guy, you date all the hot ladies.
Yeah.
It's
even if they're all plastic.
I mean, she's also like twice his age. But like, yeah. Get it, Kim. Oh no. Have you read the tabloids lately?
No, I don't read the tabloids.
It popped up in the newsfeed. Miley Cyrus made a move on him, I guess.
Oh.
I don't know if he's still with Kim or not anymore.
It's just, a Hollywood circle.
Oh gosh. Thank goodness we're not there. All right. So back to my terrible story. Michael Gardner was an openly gay man, murdered by Bunting and Wagner in August of 1997. Gardner shared a house with friends nearby, and he also had a tough upbringing, but he was well liked by his landlady. He was finally on his own. He had friends, and she accepted him as he wanted to be accepted. He I feel like he was transitioning into who he wanted to be, but he hadn't fully done it yet.
Gotcha.
He wanted to go by Michelle.
Mm-hmm.
And he often wore wigs. His landlady / friend would like paint his nails for him and like, you know. But Robert Wagner obviously didn't like that. And, you know, just because he was openly wearing wigs and short shorts and polishing his nails, like, leave it alone, buddy. But whatever. Too late now. But after Gardner's murder, Bunting had Frederick Brooks call friends of Gardner and impersonate him, including the landlady. And like, she knew it wasn't him because like he just disappeared, right?
Yeah.
But like his wallet and everything with his ID and everything was still in the house. But some of her stuff was missing.
Right.
And so Brooks demanded from them belongings such as Gardner's wallet, saying Gardner required it for identification purposes. Technically, Bunting just wanted it to get access to Gardner's personal funds.
Right. He was trying to get more money.
Right. And his friend tried not to give his wallet over, but eventually gave in and handed it over, which sucks. But
yeah,
I would have reported that shit so fucking fast.
I mean,
and then I would have moved. I would have been like, peace, I'm out.
I would have just sat outside with a shotgun.
Yeah.
Waited.
Oh my God, yes. I mean, I could do that.
You could.
I could. His body was found by police stored in one of the 6 drums in the bank vault in Snowtown. The body of Barry Lane was also located in the same barrel. We're going to get into
put 2 bodies in one.
We're going to get into Barry Lane in a minute. One of Gardner's feet had been removed so the lid of the drum could be closed. That's just
gotcha.
Yeah. Doesn't fit.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Gotta make room.
Gotta make room. Shove them in.
Yeah. So Barry Lane, he, how do I say that? He was definitely a bad person.
Okay.
And he had a relationship with a child, so, but we'll get into it here. So Barry Lane was an open homosexual and crossdresser. And so like, I mean, yeah. Lane had previously been in a relationship with Robert Wagner from 1985 until 1996. The pair shared Robert Wagner, who was one of the helpers.
Right.
We'll get to it in a second. Hold on. The pair shared a house near the home of Bunting, and they were all friends.
Oh.
Lane's relationship with Wagner began when Wagner was only 13. Barely 13. And Barry Lane was last seen alive in October of 97. Bunting,
so they offed him?
Oh, yeah. Bunting often referred to Lane as being dirty and as a pedophile. On the day of his murder, Lane was forced by Bunting to call his mother. He told her he would be moving to Queensland and that he wanted nothing further to do with her.
Oh, so they were trying to make it seem like he was just disappearing.
Yep.
Oh, boy.
Yep. Bunting had also learned of Lane telling others about the earlier murder of Clinton. Lane had helped Bunting to hide Clinton's body. And after Lane's murder, Bunting assumed control of Lane's vehicle and claimed his welfare payments. Yeah. So, let's see. Yeah. Thomas Trevillian was also involved in the murder of Lane, and it was alleged that Bunting was only associated with Barry Lane to gain further information about pedophiles in the area, which I'm actually pretty sure is true, because, I mean, he was obviously already for sure a pedophile. He was with a child. He had a child living in his house.
Yeah.
Not as a child, as a lover.
Right. As a relationship.
What the fuck? I don't care how fucked up your life is, like that. That's not okay. That's not okay.
None of it. Yuck.
Oof. Anyway, Lane's dismembered body was found by police in a drum in the bank vault in Snowtown, along with the body of Michael Gardner, like I already said. And now he starts like killing people that have helped him. A lot. Like a lot of these people he's killing off, they helped him.
Right.
So Thomas Trevillian, who helped him with Barry Lane, was described as having psychiatric problems and wore only army style clothing. He would at times run outside his house with a knife if he heard like weird noises, and was known to regularly travel long distance on foot, which like I don't know what that has to do with anything, but like maybe he just likes going for walks. Leave him alone. He shared a house with Barry Lane for a period of 5 months from April to October of 97. And Trevillian had assisted Bunting and Wagner in the earlier murder of Barry Lane. Trevillian was worried about the fact that he had been involved in Lane's murder. So like I think he was just having like paranoia.
They were just worried that he was going to talk.
Right.
Probably.
Bunting murdered Trevillian after finding out he told others of his involvement in Lane's murder.
Okay.
Yeah. Bunting believed that Trevillian had started to, quote, fuck up and go mental, and that he would be a risk. Trevillian was driven to Kersbrook in the Adelaide Hills by Bunting and Wagner. He was forced to stand on a box while a noose was fastened around his neck, and they kicked the box out from under him. So his death, he was found on November 5th, 1997, and his death was originally deemed a suicide.
Yeah, I mean, looking at it at first,
yeah,
what you're going to assume.
Yeah. So now moving on, Gavin Porter, 31, was a friend of Blissackis from Victoria. He moved into the house shared by Bunting and Blissackis in 1988. Bunting referred to Porter, a heroin addict, as a waste who no longer deserved to live. Porter was also a schizophrenic. Bunting was pissed after being pricked by a used syringe discarded by Porter on the sofa, which, like, I 100% would be fucking livid.
I would be ticked. Now I gotta go to the hospital, get tested, and
make sure I don't have any fucking disease. Ooh, gross. Yeah. But like, I wouldn't be enraged enough to murder somebody. I'm pretty sure.
I'm pretty sure I wouldn't be murdering anybody.
I mean, I think I wouldn't. I don't know. It's never happened to me, so I'm not sure.
I don't think we'll be put in that situation. Yeah. So.
Porter was murdered by Bunting and Wagner while he was sleeping in his car in the driveway of Bunting's house after working on his own car. Like he's
sleeping it off.
Like sleeping in his car. Porter's body was also stored in a barrel before being moved to Snowtown. So before he rented the building in Snowtown, he stored a bunch of bodies in his own garage. Like, talk about some stank.
And it's Australia. It's hot.
It's fucking hot. I mean, it gets cold in
it does. But they have opposite seasons, but still
Ugh, yeah. So gross. Okay, so now we're on to Troy Yude. I don't know how to say it.
Yude bomb.
It's literally spelled Youde. How would you say that in Australian?
Yuda.
All right, let's do that.
I mean, so.
I'll probably just call him Troy.
Let's go with Troy.
Troy
is yeah.
All right. Blissackis had told Bunting that his half brother Troy had molested him when he was 13 years old.
Okay. I see a pattern.
Bunting replied to this information by suggesting that Troy be, quote, bashed. So in August of 1998, Bunting, Wagner, Blissackis, and Hayden paid Troy a visit. Bunting, Wagner, and Blissackis dragged him from his bed, tortured, and murdered him. Troy was then dismembered and stored in a barrel, and that barrel was also later moved to Snowtown.
Right.
Man, that stank. Ooh, Lord, I bet it was getting bad. Yikes.
Nothing like dead body smell.
Well, yeah, and we'll get to that more in a little bit too. You're gonna laugh because like they're so dumb. It's great.
Oh.
Okay. Frederick Brooks was the intellectually disabled son of Jody Elliott and nephew of Elizabeth Hayden.
Oh.
Who's the wife of
Bunting.
Bunting.
Not Bunting.
That's Elizabeth
That's
Harvey.
Yes, okay.
Elizabeth Hayden is the wife of one of his buddies who's been helping him kill people.
Gotcha.
So he was tortured and murdered by Bunting, Wagner, and Blissackis on September 17th of 98. Brooks' body was moved to a car, which was later collected by Mark Hayden. The body was later located by police in the disused bank vault in Snowtown. And Mark Hayden continued to access the welfare payments of Brooks. There's so many people. It's wild.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of people involved.
Whew. Yeah. Gary O'Dwyer was only 29. He was a disabled man who lived alone in Francis Street, Murray Bridge, wherever that is. I have no clue. Gary had injuries from a car accident earlier in his life. And so from what I gathered, like he kind of walked with a limp. And he was slower moving.
Right.
So yeah, Bunting and Blissackis learned personal information about Gary O'Dwyer and whether he had any family. Gary was seen by Bunting as an easy target. A weak person, quote.
Right.
So Gary was murdered so that Bunting could gain from his welfare payments. O'Dwyer's body was also found by the police in the bank. His body, though, contained burn marks, which were inflicted by using a variac machine to apply electric shocks. And
so he's being tortured for information, I'm guessing.
Not even for information. He's literally just torturing, and he's getting off on the torture.
Oh.
It's fucking gross.
Gotcha.
And like burning dudes with cigarettes, burning them with cigarette lighters, using this variac machine and clamping it to their freaking genitals and zapping them.
Ouchie.
Like, dude. Yeah, I didn't want to get too into it, but like,
I gotcha.
He didn't just like do like your average torture or whatever that is. I didn't just like beat people up. Like he literally was like, yeah.
We're not waterboarding here.
Yeah.
We're just electrocuting genitals.
Yeah, just like zapping people until they literally pass out and then they kill them. So, Elizabeth Hayden, the wife of Mark Hayden, shared a house with him in a northern suburb of Adelaide. Elizabeth's sister, Jody Elliott, had a brief relationship with Bunting in 1998. She lived at the rear of Hayden's house. Elizabeth was Bunting and Wagner's second to last murder victim and the supposed only female victim that we know of.
Right, because they're saying the other woman died of a heart attack.
But like also that we know of. Because bodies in the outback, I'm just saying, like
I'm sure they get disposed of quickly.
They get disposed of quickly because animals. It's the same in the deserts here. Like it's real quick. Elizabeth was murdered on November 20th, 1998, while Hayden and Elliot were away from the house. Elizabeth was reported missing by her brother to police at 3 p.m. the next day. Hayden would later assist in concealing his own wife's murder. Police inquiries into Elizabeth Hayden's disappearance actually led the police to the bank building in Snowtown.
Nice.
Which eventually led to the discovery of 8 bodies stored in the vault, including that of Elizabeth's. Okay. I don't want to say that part. I'm going to have to come back to that part a little bit. Okay. David Johnson was lured to the disused bank in Snowtown by his stepbrother, James Blissackis.
No.
On May 9th of 1999. Johnson was not known to be homosexual, but Bunting would often refer to him as, I don't even want to say the word, the F word.
Oh, yeah, we don't like that word.
And say he needed to die. Blissackis had earlier told Johnson about a computer for sale near Clare, South Australia. And Blissackis drove him to Snowtown to look at this computer. Shortly after Johnson entered the bank building, he was grabbed by Wagner around the throat and strangled. Wagner then applied handcuffs to Johnson, and he was forced by Bunting to read a script that Bunting had already written for him.
Mm-hmm.
They also forced Johnson to give them his bank account PIN, and they recorded Johnson's voice on a computer that was equipped with a microphone. Obviously, they didn't have Zoom or anything like that back then, but
Nope.
Wagner and Blissackis drove to Port Wakefield and attempted to access Johnson's bank account, leaving Bunting and Hayden with Johnson in the Snowtown bank building. But Wagner and Blissackis were unsuccessful in withdrawing funds from Johnson's account, and when they returned to Snowtown, Johnson was already dead.
No, jeez.
These guys are fucking morons. I'm sorry, but
So Bunting just thought that they would get the money. And
yeah.
So he killed them, and then
they're so dumb.
They didn't get any money.
Yeah. So Bunting and Wagner dismembered Johnson's body, then fried and ate parts of his flesh.
Ah, that's where the cannibalism.
That's literally the only bit of cannibalism I found in this whole thing. I'm sure there was more of it.
Probably.
But Johnson was the final murder victim before the group was apprehended. And so the police were led to the bank building. It led to all of these guys being arrested.
Yeah.
Bunting, Wagner, Blissackis, and Elizabeth's husband, Mark Hayden, were all arrested for these murders. So now we're going into my dumbass criminals section. Literally, that's what I called it. Dumbass criminals. These guys were so fucking stupid, they didn't research what kind of acid to use in the barrels.
Okay. Oh boy.
They used the wrong kind of acid in the barrels. And some of these bodies they had for a long fucking time, right?
Right, like years.
Yeah. They used hydrochloric acid, which does not break down.
It doesn't break down
cells
flesh
well at all.
Yeah.
In fact, it kind of did the opposite.
Yeah.
It preserved it. If only they had used something like sulfuric acid, they may have gotten away with some of this.
Or lye. I mean,
yeah, just
throw some lye on the bodies.
But yeah, they preserved so much evidence.
They were dumb.
Seriously, so dumb. But yeah, they still probably wouldn't have gotten away with it. They were being really
reckless,
reckless, frivolous about everything.
Yeah.
Bunting was tried together with Robert Wagner. September 8th, 2003, Bunting was found guilty and convicted on 11 counts of murder. Thank goodness. And I don't really get into any of the other guys, but yes, they were all arrested. And Blissackis, I'm pretty sure, flipped and told everything.
Sounds like he was weaker of the bunch.
Well, and he definitely was. It came across that he was a child and he really wanted his stepdad, father figure to like him.
Right.
He had been sexually abused by several people, including his own brother. Like, he just wanted somebody to accept him and not do those things to him. And he, I think, saw Bunting as like, he's taking care of me and doing right by me by getting rid of these people that did bad to me.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God. Oh my God. Yeah, scary. The community impact is pretty wild though, because like Snowtown is so small. The notoriety of the murders led to a short-term economic boost from tourists visiting.
Oh yeah, I bet. They're like, let's go see where these jacked up people were murdering and storing people.
Yeah, people were literally pulling up to the bank building and trying to see if they could smell death. Like, they were sniffing under the fucking doors.
That's so weird.
On their hands and knees, sniffing under the doors.
Like, people, just wait for one of your loved ones to like, go peacefully in their sleep and then
like let
sniff them.
Gross.
No, just sniff them.
Gross.
I'm just kidding. So, just
gross.
I have had to smell death, but that's because of my job. But
well, yeah, but
I don't. Yeah, not the fun part.
You don't do it for fun.
No,
gross. It created a lasting stigma, unfortunately. The Age, which I'm assuming is a newspaper or something, reported in 2011 that Snowtown would be forever stigmatized due to its association with the murders. Shortly after the discovery of the bodies in Snowtown, the community discussed changing the name to Rosetown, but no further actions were taken. As of 2012, one shop in Snowtown was selling souvenirs of the murders, cashing in on Snowtown's unfortunate notoriety.
Oh, people will do anything to make a buck.
It's fucking wild. But like, I mean, you do you.
Yeah.
People are coming for that. Give them what they want. Give the people what they want.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah. The house in Salisbury North where Bunting lived and buried 2 bodies was demolished by its owner. The other place in Murray Bridge has been sold, and the bank with the 4-bedroom house attached, didn't even realize there was a house attached till I started reading like towards the end of this, was placed on auction. It went to auction in February of 2012, but only reached half its reserve price of $200,000. So it only reached half that. After holding an open house, which raised $700 for charity through charging an entrance fee, the property sold later that year on the 27th of September for just over $185,000. So that's a good investment. The new owners
losing money.
Well,
or was it over?
No, it was over because they only got $100,000 for it at the auction. Their reserve price was only.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought it sold for $200,000, and then
it didn't even get there.
Yeah, but it got over.
Right. So the new owners intended to live in the house while running a business from the bank, and they say they're going to install a plaque to commemorate the victims, which I also think is really
that's
cool.
Fair.
Yeah. And that's it. Except for my sources. Holy hell. Murderpedia, Wikipedia, Ranker.com, which I had never used before. There was a show called Crime Investigation Australia. Yes, it was awesome too. Season 1, episode 9, if you want to go watch it. It's on Amazon Prime.
Okay.
In 2012, the movie was released about these murders called Snowtown, the Snowtown Murders. Originally, it was just called Snowtown, and it was released in 2011 in Australia, I think. Only. You can rent it on Amazon Prime, but like I said before, it's pretty fucking detailed.
Yeah.
And it was very triggering for
me. More baddie, gross than
like straight
entertaining.
Straight away. The sexual abuse and stuff in the beginning of it was just too much. It was too much.
Yeah, I can't do that. I don't like
I was crying.
Where they have...
I turned it off. I didn't finish the movie.
Okay.
And I don't ever not.
It's rare. Yeah, it's rare for us to turn movies off.
So yeah. But like
I'm just not gonna watch it.
But it was well done. So if you can handle that kind of stuff.
I don't do well with rape of
anything,
any kind.
No.
I don't like it.
Nope. So that's my case. Made me cry watching the movie. So it was good to laugh today.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Gotta be uplifting sometimes. And like they say, without laughter, life would be tragic.
That's true. Yeah.
We gotta laugh.
Yeah. And all the funniest people, we all have our shit.
Dark trauma.
Back there.
Back there.
It's back there because I don't have closets in my house.
Yeah,
yes, it's true. I don't have closets.
She doesn't have closets.
That's fucked
closets.
Up. I'm gonna have a walk-in closet someday.
That'd be nice. That's years down the road.
Oh. All right. That's it. So we'll see you guys next time. Rate and review, please. Love y'all. Ta-ta.
Love you guys. Ta-ta for now.
Thanks for listening to Crime, Coffee, and Crafts. If you love our podcast, please rate and review us on Apple Podcasts. This helps us more than you know. If you really love us and want to support us, go to our website at www.crimecoffeeandcrafts.com. From there, you can join our Patreon, shop our merch, and find us on social media.